May I invite Dr. David Walker, Pro-Vice-Chancellor of Education and Students, to present Alan Larkin.
Vice-Chancellor, distinguished guests, graduands and graduates, families and friends, it is my honour to introduce Alan Larkin. When the university considers awarding honorary degrees, it seeks individuals who have not only pushed the boundaries of their field for the benefit of society, but who also reflect the values that are important to us at Brighton: courage, creativity, sustainability, partnership, and equity. Today, we seek to honour such an individual. Alan Larkin is a trailblazer in family law and digital innovation, renowned for his thoughtful, people-first approach and a passionate commitment to widening access to justice through technology. Hailing from Liverpool, Alan's journey into law was anything but conventional. He didn't always find exams easy. In fact, he faced a few setbacks along the way, failing his 11+ exam and later not achieving the A-level outcomes he'd hoped for. Despite these challenges, he was determined to succeed, juggling 4 jobs, attending night school, and eventually earning a degree in English before finally starting a law conversion course here at the University of Brighton at the age of 32. By the age of 37, he qualified as a solicitor, and in 2011, he co-founded Family Law Partners, driven by a bold vision to transform family law. Today, as Director of Innovation and Technology at this Brighton-based award-winning firm, Alan leads a team that is reshaping how family law disputes are handled. Recognised by the Times as one of the country's top family law firms, Family Law Partners is distinguished by its commitment to collaborative law, a non-litigious approach that helps families resolve disputes without tearing each other apart in court. Alan's calm, sensitive, and thoughtful manner has earned him respect as a resolution-accredited specialist in children's law and court advocacy. His work consistently aims to ease the emotional and financial burden on families during some of their most difficult moments. Beyond his legal practice, Alan champions well-being within the workplace. Understanding the emotional toll that family law takes on practitioners, Family Law Partners was among the first in the UK to bring an external counsellor in for its staff and to implement a reflective practice model, fostering a compassionate culture that Alan has been instrumental in cultivating. Alan is also a true trailblazer in technology. Since 2016, he has been at the forefront of innovation in family law, addressing the pressures of rising costs, shrinking public funding, and the evolving digital landscape. Nationally recognised as an expert, he regularly shares his insights in the media and legal journals and is quite literally the technological heartbeat of his firm. Among his many innovations are the Divorce Finance Toolkit, a free online resource aiding those who cannot easily access legal advice, and a widely used child maintenance calculator that supports parents, mediators, and lawyers alike. Alan's passion for early legal support also inspired the creation of an AI-driven platform that guides clients through the essential information before their initial consultation. Alan has built and maintained a long-standing partnership with the University of Brighton, where he led an award-winning project applying AI to family law services to recommend suitable dispute resolution models to divorcing and separating parents. Inspired by his success, Alan went on to co-found Nova, a law tech startup rooted right here in Brighton, continuing his mission to make the legal system work better for everyone. He's an active member of the School of Business and Law Advisory Board, but more importantly, he's a mentor who takes real joy in supporting students as they find their own path in law. Alan oversees the university's pro bono legal clinic, ensuring its vital legal services reach those who need them most. Driven by a deep belief in giving back, Alan and his team at Family Law Partners established a scholarship programme specifically for family law students. This isn't just about financial support. It's about opening doors, offering encouragement, and creating opportunities for students from all backgrounds to thrive in a profession that desperately needs diversity and inclusion. Alan remains a sought-after speaker and passionate advocate for innovation, equity, and socially conscious legal practice. driven by his personal journey and a deep belief in technology as a force for positive change. Above all, Alan is respected for his integrity, empathy, and steadfast commitment to making the law more accessible and effective for everyone. Graduates and graduands, families, friends and supporters, Vice-Chancellor, I present Alan Larkin for the Honorary degree of Doctor of Laws of the University of Brighton.
Thanks, Mum.
Alan Larkin, in recognition of your contribution to legal education and public access to legal services, I have the enormous honour to confer upon you the honorary degree of Doctor of Laws of the University of Brighton. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well done again.
Thank you so much.
Would you like to address the stage? Yeah, that's great, thank you.
Wow, are you sure you got the right person? Vice-Chancellor, distinguished guests, graduands and graduates, families, and let's not forget friends. Thank you so much for that kind introduction. I actually gave the keynote speech at last year's summer graduation ceremony, and I felt extremely honoured to do so. I never imagined for one second that I would be offered the gig again. So I'm slightly anxious that I may have used all my best material last year. The award of an honorary doctorate is special. I have felt compelled to reflect deeply upon my journey over the years to the point of standing in front of you all today. How did I end up here? What is the significance of this honour being bestowed upon me by the University of Brighton rather than another university? If, as I will suggest, there is something special about this university, then what does that mean for you, the graduates of this great educational institution? While I ruminate upon that question and my journey to this point, let me also pan for gold and try to offer up some nuggets that may hold value for you in the years to come. I should add that I seek forgiveness, but not permission, for adopting a non-linear approach today. I'm going to escape the tyranny of chronology, and I'm going to look for themes emerging from that very generous introduction. My justification is that we do things differently in Brighton, don't we? Yes. That's the sort of energy I'm looking for. Thank you very much. I was born in Liverpool. I spent the first half of my life in that city, but I ended up over 200 miles away in Brighton. So why Brighton? You may think Liverpool and Brighton are chalk and cheese, and of course there are differences. But on reflection, I think they share a certain energy, an energy that drew me here. Liverpool exists on its own uncompromising psychedelic plane of reality, and so does Brighton. And the thing I love about Brighton, the thing I really love about it, is the attitude that says we can all be a little different, and that's okay. Live and let live. Well done, we're getting there. The introduction, which was a very generous one, makes my life story so far, I'd like to add, sound like an album of my greatest hits. The reality, of course, is that I've released plenty of forgettable B-sides. I failed my 11 plus. I made a complete mess of my A-levels. If some of my ex-teachers could see me standing here today being awarded an honorary doctorate, they'd be calling for the arrest of the nominating committee. I am looking at some of you lot. But you know, past failure is in no way precluding future achievements. Life will deliver knockbacks and knockdowns. It's inevitable. But coming up short, as we all do on various occasions, it doesn't write itself into our stars. It may feel like it at the time, but it's an imposter, and you should show it the door as soon as you can. It's true that I started dabbling with AI in the context of family law quite some time ago. It was a slightly lonely place to be. A bit like turning up for a house party and you're the only one there. There's nothing to drink and someone's eating all the Doritos. To encourage myself to keep going during those fallow years, I thought of Lucretius. Now, Lucretius lived over 2,000 years ago. He looked at the world around him and he thought, there must be tiny structures binding all matter together, holding everything in place. But we just can't see them. Put another way, he hypothesized the existence of atoms. Poor Lucretius. Everyone made fun of him, both at the time and for the next 2,000 years, until Einstein came along in 1905 and validated the existence of subatomic structures. So whenever I felt some frustration with my AI adventures, I got over myself by thinking about Lucretius. An external observer looking at a potted summary of my life may conclude that I'm partial to gambling. I took a gamble leaving a full-time job in a city that had very few jobs at the time to come to Brighton to study. I took a gamble co-founding family law partners when the country was in the grip of a recession. I took a gamble with AI over a decade ago, and I'm taking a gamble now with a law tech startup. But is it really gambling? I accept there was an element of risk in pursuing all of those choices, all those significant forks in the road. But there was no element of whim in those decisions. I was hardly putting everything on 49 black in the casino. I think those choices were the result of listening to that internal voice that we all have, the voice in our head or our heart that is compelling us to take action. What the Greeks called the psyche. And the psyche sometimes asks us to do something radical or uncomfortable that leads us into squeaky bum territory. And that's okay. As the saying goes, feel the fear, but do it anyway. I didn't go into higher education, as you've heard, until I was 27. I entered law at the age of 36 or 37. It was a long time ago. I can't quite remember. But it just shows you that I wasn't always an attentive listener to my internal voice. But I tended to get there in the end. I recognise that I have enjoyed privilege in my life, not of the material kind or through schooling, but I was born male and white, which in all sorts of different ways has been to my advantage, especially in some past decades when societal attitudes were less tolerant, less inclusive, less kind. I've had the privilege of having two parents in my life who love me. I've had people provide support, guidance, nudges at key times in my life when I really, really needed it. None of us are the sole architects of our accomplishments. We have families, we have friends, work colleagues, structures, and institutions to thank along the way. Remember to say thank you, even if it takes the passage of years for us to realise how precious the help has been. Specifically, I would like to thank Ada Lovelace, 1815 to 1852, effectively the world's first computer programmer, for laying the foundations for my subsequent exploration of AI. Although I didn't start out with material privilege, I was able to create it later in life with my choice of career. And this in turn led to another form of privilege, the financial ability to invest in the futures of others, to give something back. Family Law Partners sponsors a scholarship scheme for the law students in this school whose backgrounds have grown up greater obstacles to educational access and success. We have some of our scholars graduating here today. I won't name them. You know who you are. So well done. The whole of the Family Law Partners team is so proud of you. When you get the chance to provide opportunities for others, I would encourage you all to take it. Don't be one of those who tries to pull the ladder up behind you. I am a fan of lifelong learning. Curiosity is definitely a superpower. My first degree was in English, which encouraged a diverse range of approaches to critical thinking. My latest study of law felt like a bit of a handbrake turn. Law felt prescriptive, it felt reductive, and somewhat buttoned up by comparison. But the practice of family law has changed over the last 2 decades. Instead of the one-size-fits-all model of the family court, lawyers have explored better options for their clients. I trained to become a collaborative lawyer, which required me to work with another lawyer instead of fighting against them. Together, we would focus on the welfare of the whole family unit rather than just the best interests of one client to the disadvantage of the other. And just like that, I realized that working collaboratively outside of the court process replicated the fluidity of thinking and approach I had found so attractive during my English degree. No learning is ever wasted, which is why we should all be endlessly curious. A rainy day spent reading a study of Russian folk tales nestled in my brain for 35 years before suddenly popping out in a discussion to inspire a framework for an access to justice platform using AI. How mad is that? As you continue your journeys in this world, you will see all too clearly that there are not many places as enlightened as this university or this city. There will always be voices that call for the closing of minds and the hardening of hearts, both within this island and without. Voices that foster division rather than connection. Try to carry the values and memories of your time here as an antidote to those voices. It's hard to create positive change, whether that is building a law firm or an access to justice platform. Nothing worthwhile is ever easy, as you know from all your years of study. So if the going gets tough, just be more Brighton. My hope for you all is that you carry the open, inquisitive, inclusive DNA of this university on your future travels, and it inspires you to great and to good things. If I have persuaded you that this university is a special place, then it follows that the graduates are special as well, and you'd better start believing it. Vice-Chancellor, distinguished guests, graduands and graduates, families and friends, thank you for bestowing this honour upon me, and thank you most of all for letting me share this special day with your graduates. Thank you.